So Cozy Earth has solved a marriage riddle we've struggled with for years because Mrs. Calm and I have different temperature preferences. But since we began sleeping under the heavenly softness of Cozy Earth bamboo sheets, we both have slept much better. Cozy Earth bamboo sheets and pajamas. They're luxurious, but they're also temperature regulating. So we're sleeping deeper and longer. And you can get 40% off with code CALM at cozyearth.com. Mrs. Calm was also a little jealous of my brushed bamboo pullover because it is ridiculously comfortable and it's stylish. I'm wearing it right now. So you can pair it with jeans and look great instead of frumpy. So I ordered her favorite color. I hung it on her side of the closet as a surprise. Major bonus points for me. Look, you have no idea how much joy clothes can bring when they are this comfortable. So visit cozyearth.com/calm. Use my exclusive code CALM for 40% off best-selling sheets, towels, pajamas, and more. And let Cozy Earth know you heard about them from the Calm Parenting Guy. It's cozyearth.com/calm with the code CALM for 40% off. For kids like ours, the best learning is fun and interactive. We know so many kids who love IXL because their video tutorials and games just help kids feel smart and successful. Take a moment and check out IXL.com/Kirk. IXL is an online learning program that can be used by any student from K to 12, whether they are struggling in a particular subject or if they're homeschooling. IXL allows our kids to learn at their own pace and be independent. And you know our kids love that. On IXL, kids can explore any topic in any grade level, and they're not forced into a single learning path. Our kids thrive on positive feedback, and IXL consistently reinforces success. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. Calm Parenting Podcast listeners get an exclusive 20% off an IXL membership when you sign up today at IXL.com/Kirk. So visit IXL.com/Kirk to get the most effective learning program at the best price. To my shame, I did not like our son when he was little, and it nearly destroyed my relationship with Casey, a relationship that I cherish to this day. And I struggled with how to connect with him. I struggled with how to understand him, right? Because it was just, there were so many things. It's just every day seems so difficult. Just putting your shoes on had to be difficult. Any changes in plans resulted in a big meltdown. I didn't realize at the time that he got that from me, right? And he had to control other people. It was kind of bossy and demanding, wanted to be in control. You couldn't play board games with Casey because he changed the rules of the game, cheat or quit like many of your kids do, or enforcing justice. That's not fair, right? Everything just seemed to be very difficult, and there were arguments over literally everything, right? Schoolwork was difficult, bedtime, morning, right? He'd procrastinate. All these different things just built up, and I wasn't mature. And so I blamed it on him, right? I was in that if then. Well, if our son would just start doing X, our home life would be good and I'd be a good dad. Well, now I'm placing all the power in the hands of the child. I'm giving up responsibility for my own choices, my own responses, right? That if then thing instead of saying no. I have a choice. I can parent him differently. I can look at him differently, and I can begin to understand him, and I can begin to change myself. And that's what ultimately changed our relationship and our family. And so I know a lot of you feel the same way. And I know a lot of dads, right? We struggled with how to, because we thought, well, I'm going to have a kid. We're going to connect over sports. But then you have a child who doesn't want to participate in team sports, right? And these kids, I know they're tough. And it doesn't help that we're all flawed from our own childhoods. And no one gives you an instruction manual for raising strong-willed kids. Everybody just tells you the same thing. Well, you just need to be firm and tough and follow through on your consequences. Your kids will behave. Well, it's not true because your kids don't care about consequences, right? And all it does is drive you further apart. So in this episode of the Calm Parenting Podcast, I'm going to give you two very concrete and what I believe are very powerful action steps from the No B.S. instructional manual, because we wanted to create an instruction manual for these kids so that you can build your relationship in a deeper way with this child, or in many cases, rebuild a strained relationship. So welcome. This is Kirk Martin. I'm founder of Celebrate Calm. You can find us at celebratecalm.com. If you need help with anything, reach out to our son Casey. This is the very same Casey I talk about all the time. He is a young man now, and he is very helpful towards you. Right? He's just like your kids. Not always great for you, but he's awesome for other people. But I will tell you, it is a beautiful thing when you can connect and when you can ultimately really understand your strong-willed child. You will have a bond with them that I believe will be very, very close. Casey and I battled a lot, right? But we've rebuilt that relationship, and it is tight now, and it is a very meaningful relationship because we get each other. And I believe that's what is in store for you and in the future with you, with your strong-willed child, that you will be very, very close. These kids have big hearts. They're very deep kids. They're old souls. And so once you connect, you can connect in a very deep way with these kids. So contact Casey. It's CASEY at celebratecalm.com. Tell us about your kids. What are you struggling with? Ages of the kids. We get together as a family. We talk about it. We reply back to you, usually very quickly and personally. So there are 25 very specific action steps that we go through in our No B.S. program. But the following are action steps, number 14 and number 18. And I picked these two because I love them and because I think they're very, very powerful. And you may need to listen to this twice, right? And I'm going to put in the newsletter that goes with this, I'm going to do the first one. I'll write it down for you. So if you don't have that, again, look on the website or it's free. Just ask Casey about it. So I believe this may be the most powerful step there is. It has a very deep, even spiritual quality to it, and it's going to affect you and your kids. So I'm just going to verbalize some of these things that I want you to begin internalizing. In some case, you could even say these things to your strong-willed child in the right time, of course, right? So here are a bunch of them. I release you from thinking that you have to be like me. It's very, very powerful because underneath the surface of what we do a lot with our kids is a lot of the discipline, a lot of things we get frustrated is because they're so different from us at times. And there's an underlying thing of like, you need to be just like me. You need to do things the way I tell you to do because I'm the authority figure in the home. Most efficient, effective way to do it is this way. And if you're going to be successful in life, you need to do it this way. And I want you to release your kids from thinking that they have to be just like you. I release you from thinking you have to do things the way I would. That is a huge one because I can guarantee you with 100% certainty that the strong-willed child is not going to do things the way you want them to do it. Now, it doesn't mean you let them do whatever they want. Not at all. This is not permissive parenting. I have very clear boundaries. But I give my kids space to do things. I give them space to do things, but do them differently than I would do it as long as we accomplish the same task. It's a very different thing, and I want you to really internalize that as well. Give them some space. They're not going to do it your way, and that's a good thing because we want to raise independent kids who know how to operate in this world and who know how to think for themselves. That's what we want, but we don't always parent that way. I release you to be the person you're supposed to be, not the person I wanted you to be, not the one I put on you externally. I release you to be the person you're supposed to be. I'll add one here. I release you to be the person you're supposed to be, not the one who's most convenient for me, right? That's a really important thing. No blame, no guilt in anything that we do, but sometimes as parents, we just want a convenient kid. And I don't want to have a convenient kid. I release you to be who you are supposed to be, not to be a little me, right? I release you from thinking you need to be just like your siblings. You don't. You're supposed to be different, and I'm glad that you are. And I'm going to ask you to really wrestle with this because this is as old as mankind. The setting apart of siblings as competition, comparing siblings has had disastrous consequences since the beginning of written history. Cain and Abel. I release you from thinking you need to be just like your siblings. This happens all the time with our kids because they're strong-willed kids. They internalize, I'm the bad kid, I'm the dumb kid. Please listen to the previous podcast because we go through why kids internalize that. Just did one on discipline, how we need to change our entire focus with our kids from instead of like, well, I need to discipline them to, no, I need to teach them how to problem solve, right? And I need to create successes and build their confidence with discipline. Discipline usually destroys confidence, and good discipline should build your child's confidence, right? And I encourage you, that's why I encourage you, go through the Calm Parenting program, get the everything package, whatever you want to do, I don't care, but go through it because we teach you how to do that. It's really important that your kids know that they have their own space and place within the family, and they're not less than their really good sibling who always gets good grades and behaves really well. I release you from the false expectations of society because there are a lot of those. And I ask you to forgive me for comparing you to others. I release you from the artificial timelines that society and schools propagate. There's no one path, and kids who have busy brains have great ideas in their deeper processors of information. And that's why you connect better with adults. That's why you excel in the adult world. And so I take the pressure off of you to conform to someone else's arbitrary timeline. I free you from the comparison to others. If you bloom a little later, know that when you do bloom, it will be spectacular. So take your time. Don't force it, and you'll know when it's time to go to the next step. That would be an hour-long podcast in itself, right? Of all the artificial timelines that we put on our kids. And so I encourage you, begin to internalize these things. I release you to discover and follow the path you are supposed to take. Not the path that I want you to take, not the path that others have wanted you to take. Forgive me for trying to make you be like everybody else. I want you to be uniquely you. We need your creativity, your ingenuity. We need your perspective. So look, all of these we could break down into an hour. I release you from following arbitrary rules and expectations that you know inside are simply not right. I release you instead to do what's right. I release you from thinking that grades and behavior are the most important qualities to develop, when in fact it's your persistence, your compassion, ingenuity, your creativity, your desire to help others that will make you wildly successful in life. Add your own qualities there, right? Your own independent thinking, right? Your own willingness to challenge assumptions, to take risks. Those are the qualities that we need to be, for lack of a better word, incubating, cultivating in our kids, but we fall into this trap of like everything's about good grades and good behavior. That's what we measure our kids against for 18 years, and then we wonder why they don't feel good about themselves and they feel like failures, and they're not motivated anymore. You wouldn't be motivated either, right, if we said, hey, I'm going to take the two qualities that are your two greatest weaknesses, and then I'm going to grade your entire life on just those two qualities. We would, right? Nobody gets a job in an industry or gets a job in which the requirements are things that you're really not good at, right? You play to your strengths. So I encourage you to help your kids understand that and to reset your own expectations. I do this from a young age. I do it with a toddler, right? Release them from your expectations as a toddler, right? Even this is more internally for you, not so much to say to them, but the truth is toddlers are supposed to make messes and explore and be silly. Their job description is not to be productive and efficient, right? So release them from that. And I can't tell you how important this is, this releasing. I've had to do this even with Casey as he gets older. He and I are a lot alike, but we also have significant differences. And he's grown up thinking he needs to be like his dad, to do celebrate calm the way I've done it. But that's not him. See, his unique giftings are very different from mine. So I continually have to release him and say, Casey, I release you to do this, to do your work, to do your life the way you're supposed to do it, not the way I've done mine. So Mrs. Calm told me yesterday, I wish I had begun drinking AG1 sooner. My stomach has felt so much calmer and I'm more regular. My AG1 in the morning provides some consistency I really crave. And that's one reason I love my AG1. It's an easy, healthy daily routine. No messes, no blenders. We put 1 scoop of AG1 into a bottle of water, shake it up, and start our day with 75 vitamins, probiotics, prebiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients. Check out a special offer at drinkag1.com/calm. Look, I've got more energy, better mental clarity, and AG1 supports my immune health. And that's why I've been partnering with AG1 for so long. Be an AG1 couple like us. AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3 and K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So check out drinkag1.com/calm to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/calm to start your day with a win. Right? And so that's very powerful and very important. And by the way, now would be a good time to release yourself from the false expectations you have labored under as a spouse, as a parent, as a person of faith, right? I release you from thinking that your job is to make your kids happy and do everything for them, right? I want you to be free of these false expectations that, well, if you were a good parent, your kids would behave all the time. It's a horrible expectation. And a lot of you feel guilt for that. And you feel like you've been bad parents, you've been judged by people. And I want you to be released from that so you can actually enjoy parenting and you can enjoy your kids even with all of their flaws and all of your flaws. So here's step number 18. That last one, man, you really got to dig into that one because that's not something you say one weekend. Hey, I want to release you from all these things, right? Some of it is a process that you're going to have to even internalize within yourself. But let's go to step number 18. Enter into their world, and here's a bonus, let your child teach you something. So think about this. Most of the time, we put all of our energy into trying to get our kids to do things we care about. Study, organize, get good grades, have good manners, behave well, clean up, do chores, listen. And there's nothing really wrong with that, right? But it's all consuming, and these kids naturally resist that. And it hasn't worked to this point, has it? So why not change and do the opposite? Enter into your child's world. Be curious about what they're interested in because we kind of fake that, right? We kind of act like it, but in the back of our head, we're like, hey, nice that you're interested in that. Nice with your little curiosity stuff over there. Hey, but we got chores to do. We got homework to do. You got to behave well and get good grades, right? So be curious about what they're interested in, right? Like, that child who lays off the sofa upside down? Instead of being irritated by it, walk in the living room and lay upside down next to him. Experience it with him or her. See how he views the world. I'm curious. You see the world in such a different way, and I want to understand it. I've spent too much time trying to change you, but I actually want to see the world the way you do. I could actually learn from you, and then be quiet and listen. I want you to bond with your child. And here's a fantastic way to do it. Bond over music your child likes. Now, here's the hard part. I'm 99% sure you're going to hate their music. It's probably rap or electronic dance music or something you just don't like. So one night while fixing dinner, just try this once. Blast some of their music. Just do it. And your child will get off his screens and come ask, what are you doing? And look, it's okay to lie here. Just say this. Hey, on the way home from work, I was listening to the radio and they were talking about this rap artist and his story. And I was curious about his life story, so I wanted to listen and learn exactly why his music is so repulsive. I'm kidding. Don't mention that part. But I wanted to learn why his music, why he talks about that in his music. And I do mean this. I would do this. So you can think awful things about that, but then say this, I'm curious. What is it about his or her music that resonates with you? And then listen. Listen without making snide comments or correcting or trying to change your child's opinion. Listen to them and relax with that rigidity. See, I guarantee if you're like me, you're rigid and you resist everything that's so different about your kids. Look, I'm not talking about trying to be cool and smoking weed with your kids. That's immature and wrong. I'm talking about entering into your child's world and learning, appreciating, being curious, and finding ways to bond and enjoy this child. Don't allow your fear to drive your child away from you, from the very person whose wisdom he or she needs most. I'll share an example of how we did this. I do that in a lot of the case studies in the No B.S. program, but here's one. I used this with Casey to rebuild our relationship, and I called it agenda-free time. Every Saturday morning, I do what Casey was interested in, which was going to car dealerships and test driving different cars. And I hated it. But it was agenda-free time. We didn't talk about his attitude, his behavior, his school performance, any of that. We simply enjoyed time together doing something he was interested in. I encourage you, do that, even if you hate it and you don't want to, even if your child doesn't deserve it. And dads, this is huge for you. Do it. It just can't be about what you are interested in. And if you don't do this, I guarantee you're going to regret it when you're older. Now, here's one more really great strategy related to this. Let your child teach you something. See, we're so busy with life and so busy ordering our kids around that they feel like robots. But these are bright kids. If you want to connect with them and have them actually come to you and listen, then listen to them and ask your child to teach you something. Even if you aren't interested, fake it. Ask them to show you something with technology or how to create something. I promise you, your child will appreciate this more than you know, and it's a way to bond with them. Look, I've said this a million times. You're justified in feeling angry and frustrated and annoyed by your strong-willed child. You're justified, right, in all of these feelings. But just punishing them and getting on them all the time and lecturing doesn't work, and it makes things work. So do the opposite. Enter into your child's world instead of demanding that they pursue what's just interesting or important to you. So let's do these things this week. Begin releasing your child from all of these limiting expectations. And start this when your kids are young. And summer, great time to rebuild your relationship because there's no school pressure. Hopefully you have a little bit more time. I encourage you, go through the 25 action steps in the No B.S. program. It's on sale now at celebratecalm.com, or it comes free in the Get Everything package. I encourage you, just get everything. That way you've got everything. Look, it's a little more, maybe a little bit less than one trip to a therapist's office. And look, we believe in therapy, but therapy for a lot of our kids, you just waste a couple $1,000s because they go in there and they manipulate the therapist and tell them what they want to hear, right? Or they just say, I don't know. I'd rather you learn how to connect with your kids and do this. So if we can help you in any way, reach out to us. Reach out to Casey, Casey at celebratecalm.com. Let us know what you're struggling with. We will help you. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for listening. Love you all. Bye-bye.